Rangers win again. It is now a 4-game winning streak for the Rangers, and they improved their record to 10-3-3. Pretty remarkable just how good they've been and just their ability to win games, rack up points. They have an even goal differential on the season. They play a lot of close games, and they usually come out on the winning side, or at the very least get the game to overtime, maybe just get 1 point. But this is a game that they should have won. But look, in the NHL, for the most part, it's this year there are some really bad teams, Montreal being one of them, but this was a team that did reach the final last season, and so I'd expect Montreal to improve, and nothing's ever a guarantee. The Rangers, I thought they played a good game, especially in the first period. They came out strong. This was a good home win against Montreal. And like I keep on saying, and this is if the Rangers in the Western Conference, you've been feeling pretty good about their long-term chances of making the playoffs. But in this Eastern Conference, specifically in the Metropolitan Division, you got to win as much as you possibly can because you're one bad week away from being in a pretty precarious spot. But felt really good about this Ranger game. Unfortunately, it was announced before the game that Sammy Blais tore his ACL and he's out for the season. I feared that it looked like it was going to be a bad injury, and unfortunately, that was the case. So it'll be interesting. Rangers play the Devils again in March, and assuming PK Subban is still on the Devils, then I'd expect some retribution. The game was too close at that time for anyone to really do anything, being the third period, but market calendars for that one. That'll be in early March. I feel bad for Blais, and it's tough for the Rangers too. I mean, they're definitely getting thin on the wings, and it really makes you think, like, with Vitaly Kravtsov, what a situation that should have been so avoidable for him, for the team. He would have absolutely had a very good chance to contribute, to get major minutes, but that didn't happen. But Sammy Blais out for the season. Apparently it's, I think, 6 to 8 months. I suppose if somehow the Rangers made a playoff run, I guess Blais could be back, and he will be a restricted free agent. So we might see him back next season. It really, with something like this, who the hell knows? How will he recover? Will the Rangers be interested in bringing him back? I mean, it was a short sample size, but I liked what I saw from him in the games that he played. But season's over for Sammy Blais. That's unfortunate. But the good thing is, for example, Julien Gauthier steps into the lineup. Now, he's been in the lineup the last few games, but steps in and really does a pretty damn good job. So, like I said, Rangers got up to a really good start in this one. They actually had 17 shots in the first, and it's weirdly a rarity, like, especially at home. Like, the Rangers in recent years, like, don't really get off to great starts, in particular at home, and this was a welcome sight. And the Rangers would take the first penalty. It'd be Barclay Goodrow, a cross-checking penalty. But 21 seconds in, Chris Weidman interferes with Kevin Rooney. So power play's over, and it would be 4-on-4 play. Later in the period, who scores? Kakko. Back-to-back games, Kakko was actually the first star of the game in this one. So he gets a goal. Beautiful pass by Artemi Panarin, who is getting better and better. 12th assist of the season for Panarin, and Strome gets the other assist. So that line scores. A little more than 4 minutes to go in the first period. So Kakko was another good game for him. That's good to see, because ever since he came back from that injury, which he suffered ironically against Montreal, he hadn't looked too great, but now he's showing definite signs of life. So the Rangers take that 1-0 lead into the second. Unfortunately for the Rangers, Montreal scores, and in the second, this was a much better period for Montreal. Like, Montreal definitely played better the next two periods. Rangers absolutely dominated the first, but the last periods, much more even. And so Christian Dvorak scores on a play where Shesterkin was just a little bit late getting to Dvorak. The puck was behind the net, and it kind of just caromed from Brendan Gallagher to Dvorak, and Dvorak just put it right in, and Shesterkin just a little bit too slow to react, and that ties it up. Then, about a minute later, it would be the first fight as a Ranger for Ryan Reaves. It finally happened. I think this is his 12th game as Ranger. It finally happened, and he fought a guy that I've never – it's a minor league player, Michael Pezzetta. Reaves absolutely pummeled him. It was Reaves, pretty hell of a first fight. I think he was confused that this guy wanted to give it a go with one of the best fighters in the game, but Reeves definitely worked him. And I think that the Rangers, I think that they definitely fed off that because less than 30 seconds after that fight, it would be another goal by Chris Kreider, his 12th goal of the season off a very nice pass from Zibanejad. So Zibanejad gets the assist there. So that line scores a goal. And Kreider, he has also been just very, very good this season. It's not just the goals, but hey, 12 goals in 16 games is really fantastic. And we know how streaky he is. So, like, again, it's always in the back of my mind, but he has been simply brilliant this season. Consistent. That work ethic has been there, and he's been definitely setting a good example for the rest of the team. And so you love to see what Kreider's doing, and so that makes it 2-1. The Rangers would keep that 2-1 lead. They would kill off a Keandre Miller tripping penalty. So good job by the penalty kill. And in the third period, early, it would be a goal by Julien Gauthier, his first goal of the season. Like I said, Gauthier stepping into kind of that Blais third line role and scoring a big goal. It would turn out to be the game-winning goal, unassisted. Good pressure. He didn't get an assist in the play, but good pressure by Philip Hedl. Hedl, pretty good game from him. He pressured the defenseman, as did Gauthier. Gauthier got the puck and makes a nice backhanded goal. I must say, Caden Primo, the Montreal goalie, who Keith Primo's son, I believe, he played very well. He, really went toe-to-toe with Shesterkin and held his own. But because things are usually never easy with the Rangers, Montreal scores. About 20 seconds after, Josh Anderson gets a goal. Just like that, it is 3-2. So they left that line on. They left the Hedl line on, and Nemeth and Lundqvist were on. I wish that they had maybe a little bit better crew, after that goal, a little more defensive-minded players in the ice, but Montreal scores. And so it's a 3-2 game. There would be a power play to the Rangers where Kevin Rooney is stripped. So Kevin Rooney, again, the fourth line, I felt like had a pretty good game. Rooney, he's a pretty effective fourth line center, I have to say. I mean, he was kind of just a random pickup from the Devils heading into last season. He's really solidified himself as a top penalty killer, as someone that they trust, someone that they protected in the expansion draft. So clearly, this organization thinks very highly of Kevin Rooney. And like I said, he draws 2 penalties. And I felt like the Rangers, where they did not play so well in that first half of the third period, as that third went on, and really kind of starting with that Rooney during that penalty, things got, that second half of the third was a lot better. Rangers did a really good job of protecting the house, playing smart. And with about 30 seconds left, Brendan Gallagher just kind of sucker punches Barclay Goodrow in the face. So that pretty much ended any chance that Montreal had right there. And Goodrow is someone who you just see the value in late game situations. That's what it is. He is someone that is also very much relied upon, a top penalty killer, and someone who's versatile. He is a key part of this team. It's one of those guys that you're not going to see it on the stat sheet, even though, he's holding his own in that department, but he's really been very good and draws that penalty, annoying player to go up against. And the Rangers would hold on, but then there'd be some fisticuffs at the very end, a fight between Jacob Trouba and Josh Anderson, which brings me to Trouba. Trouba has, like Kreider, Trouba was someone that I've been hard on. He's had a very solid season. Has shown a little bit of offense. Unfortunately, it'll never be what it was in Winnipeg, I don't think. But just a very dependable, physical, not as many defensive blunders. He's been good. I mean, like Trouba, whether it be with Keandre Miller or Patrick Nemeth, depending on the situation, has really been someone that you can trust. And Trouba showing that leadership. It's good to see players that I was a little bit veteran guys that I wasn't sure about have really done a very good job this season. And of course, we don't even really talk about him, but Igor Shesterkin, 31 saves on 33 shots. Another good night for Shesterkin, continuing this amazing season that he's had. So like I said, the Rangers improved to 10-3-3, and now they go back to Toronto. And if you remember, that was probably Shesterkin's greatest game of the season. There's been many of them. I'd say that one. That was the game where the Rangers won 2-1 in overtime, where Panarin scored in overtime, and the 3-on-3 was amazing. And Toronto's been very good. Toronto was the better team by far in that game. We'll see if the Rangers can make adjustments, but that won't be easy. So Rangers go to Toronto. And I'm looking forward to that game because that should be a good test. I want to see if they can do better than they did the last time. And you can't expect Igor to be as on top of his game as he was. I mean, that was just pure brilliance. But hopefully the Rangers can keep the winning momentum going. And if they do win against Toronto, I believe that would be a high watermark of a 5-game winning streak. They've had a 4-game winning streak before, if you remember that 4-game road trip. Now they do it again. And we'll see if they can break that and go for 5 in a row against the Toronto Maple Leafs.